The wake-up call. Most men spend their lives confused, chasing love, validation, and happiness from women, only to end up heartbroken, used, or trapped. But why does this happen so often? Is it just bad luck, or something deeper? Over 200 years ago, a philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer exposed the raw truth about female nature. Truths so brutal, most men still refuse to accept them today. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly where you've been deceived and how to finally take back control. So pay close attention. What you're about to hear isn't just controversial, it's the missing key that most men will never grasp. The illusion of love. Schopenhauer didn't believe in fairy tales. He saw love for what it really is. Not a spiritual bond, not destiny, but a biological trick, a ruthless illusion designed by nature for one purpose: reproduction. Think about it. That electric attraction you feel, that obsessive desire, that belief that she's the one, your brain isn't connecting with her soul. It's calculating, subconsciously assessing fertility, genetic compatibility, and survival potential. And women, their attraction works the same way, just with different priorities. Schopenhauer once wrote, "Love is the ultimate goal of almost all human effort. It is more important than anything else in life." But he didn't mean that romantically. He meant it as a trap, a fleeting chemical high that disappears the moment it serves its biological purpose. Nature's harsh design. Ask yourself how many men have destroyed themselves for a woman who walked away without a second thought. How many marriages crumble once the passion fades? That's not coincidence, it's nature's design. Women don't choose men based on fairness, loyalty, or logic. They follow a hardwired program, evolved to seek status, security, and genetic superiority. A man's devotion means nothing if he can't provide those. Schopenhauer saw it clearly. Women are rarely guided by reason. They are ruled by instinct and emotion. This isn't misogyny, it's observation. Just look around. Dating apps where 80% of women chase the top 20% of men. Divorce courts where commitment is punished with financial ruin. History where kings died for mistresses who betrayed them. The pattern never changes, because biology never changes. The mistake most men make: most men still believe love is mutual. That if they just give enough, care enough, and prove their worth, they'll be rewarded. But Schopenhauer warned us, to be loved one must not be just, but clever. Women don't fall for nice, they fall for strength. Not just physical but social, financial, and psychological. That's why the so-called good guy finishes last. Not because he's unworthy, but because he misunderstands the game. He thinks love is earned through service, while women are drawn to men who don't need to serve. Have you ever noticed how a woman starts pulling away once she has you? Schopenhauer called this the tragedy of possession. The thrill isn't in having, it's in conquering. Once the conquest is over, biology moves on. Men who cling too hard, who make her the center of their world, inevitably watch her walk away. It's not her fault, but here's the twist. This isn't women's fault, it's nature's. And the man who understands this, he stops blaming, he starts strategizing. Schopenhauer's message wasn't to hate women, it was to see them clearly, to realize that love isn't a fantasy, it's a negotiation. And any man who negotiates from weakness will lose, every single time. But this is just the beginning, because what comes next is even darker. The harsh reality of the modern man. Schopenhauer saw what most men today still refuse to admit. The rules of attraction aren't fair, they're not logical, and they're definitely not in your favor. Modern society preaches equality, but biology plays by a different rule book. Here's the cold truth. Women hold the ultimate leverage in relationships, not out of malice, but because nature designed them to be the selectors. From the moment puberty hits, a woman's sexual market value peaks, while a man's, it must be built through struggle, status, and survival. Schopenhauer put it bluntly, women are suited to being the nurses and teachers of our childhood, by the very fact that they themselves are childish, frivolous, and short-sighted. That wasn't an insult, it was an evolutionary observation. A woman's youth and beauty are her currency, and she knows exactly how to spend it. The age of simps. Now ask yourself, why is the average man today so lost? He's told to be emotionally vulnerable, yet women still chase dominance. He's shamed for embracing masculinity, while alphas dominate the dating scene. He works himself to exhaustion, only to be met with divorce courts and paternity fraud. Schopenhauer warned us centuries ago, women are not villains, but they are wired for survival, not sentiment. In his words, they are big children all their lives. And in the modern world they've learned to weaponize that truth. Social media has turned attention into currency, and the average man is the unpaid laborer. He simps, he orbits, he competes for scraps of validation from women who will never commit. Why? Because he's been sold a lie. That devotion alone is enough. The cold strategy, Schopenhauer saw it long before Tinder and TikTok. He argued women are trained to be incapable of genuine love. Sounds harsh? Then ask yourself, is her love unconditional, or is it tied to what you can do for her? Female love is conditional. It's tied to utility. A man is not loved for who he is, but for what he provides. And when he stops providing, the love fades. That's not bitterness, it's survival. If a man stagnates, she resents him. If he falls behind, she replaces him. In modern society, it applauds her for doing it. Closing the two paths, Schopenhauer divided men into two categories: those who serve and those who are served. So ask yourself, which one are you? Are you the man exhausting himself to prove his worth, or the man who's mastered the game? This isn't about hate, it's about awareness, clarity, and strategy. Because once you understand the truth, you can stop playing defense and start playing to win. If this opened your eyes even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with a man who needs to hear this. Subscribe for more brutal truth and real strategy. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning of seeing the world, and women, for what they really are. Stay sharp, stay aware, and remember, the truth will set you free. A man versus begging. One man commands worth effortlessly, another begs for loyalty. One inspires obsession, the other invites disrespect. You see it everywhere. The office worker sacrificing his health for a promotion, hoping it'll make his wife respect him again. The gym rat transforming his body, only to realize women now want him, but only for sex, not for commitment. The simp who spends his paycheck on a girl who ghosts him the second a higher status man enters the room. These men aren't victims, they're volunteers. But Schopenhauer didn't just diagnose the problem, he revealed the solution. Rule of survival. The first rule of survival: see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. The man who thrives today isn't the one clinging to outdated romantic ideals, it's the one who masters the game. And here's the final truth: the game is rigged, but only if you're playing by the wrong rules. Most men give up here. Why? Because the next truth is the hardest to swallow. It was never about women. It's not about women. It's about you. And the moment you face that, everything changes. Schopenhauer uncovered a disturbing truth, one that modern psychology now confirms. Women don't compete like men. They don't challenge directly. They don't flex their power out in the open. Their greatest weapon is invisible, instinctive, and devastatingly effective. Emotional influence. Emotional warfare. While men fight with fists or logic, women wage war through perception. They don't conquer. They manipulate reality itself. Think about it. When a man wants something, he asks for it, or demands it. When a woman wants something, she makes you believe it was your idea. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. He wrote, "Women are adapted to a sedentary life by their lack of physical strength, and to the care of children by their natural inclination. Hence, they live more in the present than men. But this present moment focus gives them a dangerous advantage. They read micro-expressions, tone shifts, and social dynamics with near supernatural accuracy. You think you're having a conversation. She's conducting an interrogation. The tests you're failing. Modern men believe they're in control of their relationships. They're not. From the first date to the divorce papers, women guide the interaction through subtle tests, and most men fail them without even realizing it. The compliance test. How quickly do you drop your plans for her? The frame test. Do you hold your ground or fold under emotional pressure? The investment test. Are you chasing more than she is? Schopenhauer warned us, women are instinctively crafty and have an innate talent for deception. This isn't evil, it's evolution. In a world where physical strength didn't guarantee survival, emotional intelligence became the ultimate currency. Misreading the signals. The woman who couldn't read male psychology. She didn't pass on her genes. And here's where modern men walk blindly into the trap. They confuse a woman's attention for genuine interest. But Schopenhauer revealed the dark reality. Women are most attracted to men who don't need them. The moment you make a woman your purpose is the moment she loses respect for you. This explains so much. Why nice guys finish last. Why marriages fall apart after men sacrifice their ambitions. Why emotionally unavailable men seem to win again and again. It's not that women want to be mistreated. They're biologically wired to seek strength, and nothing kills your perceived value faster than neediness. The tyranny of the weak. Every interaction with a woman contains an unspoken power struggle. Most men lose before they even realize a battle has begun. She cries to avoid accountability. She withholds affection to train compliance. She flirts with others to test your confidence. Schopenhauer called it the tyranny of the weak, a tactic where the seemingly powerless control the powerful through manipulation. And the man who falls for it, he becomes a slave. But the man who recognizes it, he becomes unstoppable. The path to freedom. There's hope. Schopenhauer's most liberating truth is this. The first step to freedom is seeing the chains. Once you realize female nature isn't personal, it's biological, you stop taking it personally. You stop begging for loyalty and start inspiring it. Here's the final lesson. The most dangerous lies aren't the ones women tell men. They're the ones men tell themselves. Transcending the game. Schopenhauer's most devastating revelation wasn't about women. It was about the cold, unflinching reality of human nature itself. But after exposing the brutal truths of attraction and power dynamics, he offered something even more valuable: the path to liberation. This isn't about defeating women. It's about transcending the game entirely. What men get wrong. Modern men make one fatal error. They believe happiness comes from female validation. Schopenhauer saw through the illusion. The happiness which we receive from ourselves is greater than that which we obtain from our surroundings. The men who thrive aren't those who conquer women. They're the ones who conquer themselves. They develop a purpose so consuming, so rewarding, that female attention becomes a bonus, not a requirement. The 3 pillars of masculinity. Here are the 3 pillars of unshakable masculinity. Economic sovereignty. Money is human happiness in the abstract. Not for what it buys but for the freedom it secures. The man who controls his finances controls his fate. Philosophical depth. Most men live on autopilot. The exceptional man thinks deeply, questions everything, and sees through illusion. He doesn't react, he reflects. Physical mastery. Your body is the vessel of your will. Weakness here breeds weakness everywhere. A strong body breeds a strong mind. Emotional armor. Schopenhauer's wisdom becomes revolutionary when he says, the safest way of not being very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. This isn't pessimism, it's emotional armor. The modern man who stops begging for love, fairness, or attention suddenly finds all of it gravitating toward him. Why? Because he's removed himself from the desperate masses. He's become the prize. Final truths. The battle between men and women isn't personal. It's biological theater. A play scripted over millennia. The man who understands this doesn't blame. He evolves. He builds a life so compelling that women must either rise to meet his standards or get left behind. Schopenhauer's ultimate truth. We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. The choice is yours. So here's the question. Will you keep chasing illusions? Or will you finally step into your true power? The red pill isn't about hating women. It's about loving truth enough to rebuild yourself in its image. This is where your real life begins. Call to action. Vertical bar end. If this video opened your eyes, like it. If you know a man who needs to hear this, share it. And if you want more insights like this, subscribe to the channel. This isn't just content, it's a blueprint for masculine transformation. Because when you stop chasing, you start attracting. Stay sharp, stay focused, and remember, you are the prize.